yeah, let me just make noise. You guys know I'm not starting the show like muted out. I never make that mistake, right? What's up? It's your boy. Welcome to R8RBEAR Family Page. And your boy, R8RBEAR. How arrogant is that, right? I named the show after myself, R8RBEAR Live. That's ridiculous. R8RBEAR! Nobody, and I mean nobody, loves this team like this dude. I was born in Oakland, okay? It's in here. There's a few guys that feel like I do. I'm lying. A few thousand. Some people. Oh man, so much is going on. Don't act like you're not excited. Come on, man. Often imitated, never duplicated. Nah, that fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! The R8RBEAR! No, Rombo, you ain't me. R8RBEAR! It's gotta feel pretty good, though, when people try to rip off your stuff. It makes me mad, because I come from an era where you tell people, don't bite my stuff. Okay? I'm original, you're a perpetrator, go on. And then I got over it and just, it's not the sincerest form of flattery. I don't want to hear that either. He's still just ripping off my style because he wants to sell his show. And he sucks. And he's also talking about the Niners, which also suck. All day, twice on Sundays. R8RBEAR! Alright. Enough of all that. All of you. Enough of it. That's it. We're done. No, I mean, just the music. Tradish! I'm doing a lot of that tonight. R8RBEAR Live! First comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to the two-title, dual champion, Mark Vargas! You emoji making son of a gun. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Second place, my silver medal goes to John the Lion! Always catching L's, but never taking losses. I had to do a hezzy on that one. Third place, my bronze medal goes to, I love this is one of my favorite nicknames, Ramiro! Woo! Cashflow! Castro! The one and only! Your brother can eat it! I mean, I'm sure if I met him, I'd love him. You're a great guy, so you gotta have something in common. Honorable mention to Troy Gill and my good friend Bob Standard and S.A. Ooh, big dog. Oscar De Leon, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Right? Oscar got right on it. Who's in, who's out? Come on, Bear, get with it. You do know I have to joke and shout at least for 5 more minutes. All right, who's out? We have... I know we lost Trayvon Merrick. I know we lost Robert Spillane. And I believe we lost Nate Hobbs. But, honestly, I want to make a point, and I think this will take a little bit of pain off of the edge of finding out this news. I like what Pete Carroll is doing. You don't know if you can win with what you got. You gotta mess it up in here. You gotta, guys like Max, and so I was just thinking of different people I thought might warrant that, but just Max is our star stud, and so you had to honor that. And did you guys see he's the highest paid non-quarterback at defensive end? That's incredible. I mean, you gotta love that for multiple reasons. One, I love the fact that the guy's getting paid his due. That guy's got a lot of tattoo bills. Two, and more importantly, it shows that our franchise is 100% behind him, and I love that. I think they'll keep that up right on through the next coach, and by then, he may not even want to play anymore at that point. This says Despair Coffee. It's an anime smashed together with Starbucks coffee, so don't try to buy this. It doesn't exist. You thought I forgot. R8RBEAR, first comment, woo, MVP tonight. Facebook goes to Lucky Pace. So, Lucky, it's Monday, you know what I mean? I'm thinking the title's kind of been bouncing around a little bit between you and Carlos Boykins. I don't know if we shouldn't just add you two, maybe a little bit of Mike Hendu, maybe a little bit of Tony Make a Dip, and see what happens, see who's the winner. Carlos Boykins! That's my boy. Third place, my bronze medal goes to Tony. Make it. I'm telling you, Tony, if you weren't married, you could walk into a club and anyone that asks you what your name is, any girl, you'll probably win her over like that with, what's my nickname? What's my middle name? Make it. Because Tony Make a Dip. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Honorable mention to Mike Henderson and Chris Strong. And by the way, that was only 6 minutes long. Everything I just did, 6 minutes. See, I like to tell people that because I have some people that listen, they're like, come on, what are we doing? We're going to talk football, I'm sorry. Whoop. We're going to talk football, I'm sorry. 10 more seconds. Can we do that real quick? Okay, let me sit that down. Okay, so a lot of stuff today. A lot of stuff happened. Well, not just today, but we have a lot of news to discuss. Some crazy stuff, some stuff not so crazy, Okay, so there was like a kind of a recapping of what's happened so far. So we have our 6th overall pick in 2025, which, 6th round pick, or number 6 overall pick. We have now $57.5 million in cap space. That still is the 10th most behind the Patriots, right behind the Patriots, who are 9th and we are 10th. Key free agents, Robert Spillane, Trayvon Merrick, and Malcolm Kuntz. Now, I haven't really heard much about Malcolm Kuntz. I think they might be trying to keep him. If anyone has a beat on that, let me know. But Robert Spillane is definitely gone, and Trayvon Merrick is definitely gone. And I got to be honest, I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it. This is what Pete Carroll does. He strips that car down to the bolts, but then he makes his choices and concerted efforts to make such and such better. You know what I mean? And make them fit into their system, and then everything smooth rolls along. I think that he will put this in place. I think that the players will honor Coach Carroll with respect over the fact that 1, he's got a ring, 2, he's been around for a minute, 3, he has a reputation. All the players like him. Okay, it's just true. There's going to always be players that don't like you, but the majority like the guy. So he's got all of that walking through the front door. So now, why do I think they're going to do well? Because he's not being shy about doing the hard things, about allowing the things that make you kind of gasp. We're letting go of Trayvon Merrick. I mean, Trayvon Merrick's last season was his best, but you got to do what you got to do. Also, and just briefly, Andre James, the center who's been working for us for all these years, he was never a center. He became a center behind the tutelage of the guy we had back in the day. I forget his name now, but he was the best, and he eventually went on to the Cardinals because we weren't paying him. But Andre James is gone. We released him. We get 1.6 million. Sorry, I'm trying to remember, but we get 1 point something million. Nothing, lunch money. The problem that hurts is that Andre James' dead money hit is $7 million. And from what I've read and understand, had we waited to either next year or somewhere around mid-year, those numbers would have flip-flopped, and we would have been saving close to $7 million and only having $1 million ish of dead money. And so we just kind of screwed that up. Now, if you ask me, and you probably would, I'm just kidding, but here it is. If you ask me what that means, it means that Spytech, our GM, and whoever's working with him and for him, that seems like a ball drop. That seems like a fumble by your new front office. That you would miss something, that's that important, and it's directly your job, watching the cap space and how it influences how you get players and make contracts and so on. And I think it's whack that we have that starting right in the beginning of their regime. But I just felt like I had to say that. I want people to understand I'm not biased. I don't always just go Raiders, Raiders, Raiders. I'm always a fan. I'm never going to stop being that. But I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, hey, we got the Super Bowl in our hands this year. You know what I mean? No, I don't rah-rah. I tell the truth. Mike Hendu, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Chris Strong in the house. Jimmy Mata, what's up, Jimmy? Welcome to the show. Family in the house. Jimmy Mata, I loved your brother. He was a great dude. God rest his soul. Carlos Magana, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Eric Bell, I gotta tell you honestly, it doesn't look good when you just step back and look, because we, for the most part, have just released guys. Now, we re-signed Adam Butler. Now, that does matter. Adam Butler is quietly becoming a dominant force in the middle of the line. As long as him and John Jenkins are doing what they're doing, we're gonna be fine. Don't you dare come in here and tell me they can't hear me.
No, I was gonna tell you should do like a moment of silence for this guy.
Oh, that's okay. That's a great point. I really appreciate that. I'm sorry. Great reminder. Okay, so Mama Bear took the time to remind me, because I was being a lunkhead and I was so excited to get started talking about Raider Nation, that we forgot to say goodbye to a Raider brother, a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine on Facebook. Everyone that I've ever known that's had anything to say about him, it's always been good. And God has called him home. He passed away recently. I apologize. I can't say whether it was yesterday or the day before, but
it was today. This morning.
Oh, goodness. Mama Bear is telling me off camera that she thinks it was this morning. You may have heard her, but I just want to give a moment to Chris Reyes, if that's okay. Right on. I don't know. I hate it. I hate that we have to lose Raider brothers and sisters, but that's just part of it. So we just got to always celebrate them and remember them. And at some point or another, honey, we should do something like that. I was thinking about collaborating with Bob Standard, because he does that nice woodwork. I was thinking about making some kind of like memorial wall and just putting their names on it.
Oh, that would be dope.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that would be real cool. It'd just be a way to remember. And just whenever we lose another Raider, we got to come back to the wall and update it. You know what I mean? Until it's updated for us.
I like that.
That's my girl. Raiders! And anyone feel free to comment about what you think of the idea. If you think it's terrible, that's fine. I understand that too. Oaktown 17, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Blessings back to you. We signed a safety, former Panther and Texans player. Okay. Nicely done, Bob. I was just going to pull up the wall in a second during the show, and then, yeah, we'll catch up on that. Jim Garrison, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hold on here. Oh, wow, my phone's almost dead. Okay. Who was that? John Leon said, what do I think of Lonnie Johnson? Well, John, I'll say what I always say. He looks like he has all the tools. I don't care necessarily if they say he had 21 interceptions or 14 or 8. See, none of that means anything to me. Every time we're evaluating a college player, and I'd appreciate it if all of you hear me out on this, because if you don't agree with me, that's cool, but I think some of you, I'll turn the light on for you, okay? And here it is. College students are only supposed to be graded on their potential when they get to the NFL. The stuff they do in college, that's not going to go down in the NFL. You know, we all saw it. Reggie Bush, the running back, former of USC, he looked like a god with lightning in his legs, okay? And then as soon as he got to the NFL, they said, no, kid. We're not a bunch of slowpokes in the NFL like what you were facing in college because your team made a soft schedule. So you only played a team with an NFL quality player on it once, maybe twice your whole season. And then you get to the NFL and you get you're shell shocked because you thought you were going to come there and set something. Well, I'll never forget the hit. Just look up Reggie Bush against the New Orleans Saints, and they throw him they throw him a bubble screen out on the flat, and the ball just lingers a little bit too long. And right when Reggie Bush grabs it, this guy comes through him and just drills him and just lays him flat like cheap lawn furniture. Yeah, Bob, we do need to fill the linebacker spot, but I got to be honest with you, haven't we been doing that for decades now? I mean, it just seems like every 4 years, or 3 years, we're like, oh, nope, we need more help at linebacker. Oh, nope, we need more help at linebacker. I mean, what are we doing? I want us to address things, but can we address that, please? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, get a veteran and then get someone in the draft. And it could just be one of the thirds. We still have 2, I think, even after using one to get Geno Smith, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, hang on. Okay, you can't keep talking about it. And I'm not supposed to. Oh, whoops. Right here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the signing of Alex Kappa, the guard, I thought that was incredible. I was glad to see that we re-signed Isaiah Pulamaw. That was incredible. To be honest with you, I even like this guy, Kyle Phillips, that was with the Titans before. He's going to be with us. I'm just feeling some Hunter Renfrow kind of vibes coming off that guy. He's stocky, short guy, but a muscle-bound build. He looks like he would be a lot to handle. Armando Medrano, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Bear, we need linebacker. We have Jeremy Chin and now a safety from the Texans. Yeah, I like it. I want to see more. I just think that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There's going to be much more. So I got excited yet again and then let down. Dustin King, Bear, what's good? Everything, brother. Welcome to the show. Raider fan, what's up? Welcome to the show. Jesse Parker, always there for Raider Bear. Okay, so real quick, we talked about certain things. I thought the Nate Hobbs loss was bad, but he's a nickel. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that we're losing him from the team. I know we all love that guy. I love that guy. I predicted him in the draft and said we'd get him, and we did, and nobody was talking about Nate Hobbs, and wow, I plucked him. I picked Henry Ruggs. The Raiders picked Henry Ruggs. That was kind of a miss. Sorry. God rest her soul, that young lady and her dog. And AOC. I called AOC as well. And so I've had kind of a good track record so far. I'm probably going to make a decision on the draft and who we're going to draft pretty quickly here. But as of right now, I'm on Ashton Genty. I think Ashton Genty is just going to happen. And the only reason I say that is because from a little birdie, you guys might have heard the same bird, but it made it very clear that, what was his name? Oh, I just lost it. Oh, okay, sorry. They were making it clear that both the coach and the general manager are frothing at the mouth and the shot of Ashton Genty. That the whole thing with a quarterback is smoke and mirrors, that there is no chance we're picking a quarterback in the first round. It's not happening because Ward won't be on the wall, and Shedeur Sanders has been run through the meat grinder so much. So much. They make it sound like he's a third, fourth round pick now, but I would imagine he's still going to go late in the first. There's just going to be a team that needs a quarterback, and they're going to get nervous letting him go into the second. And so someone who has the 20th pick or 24th pick, something like that, that's probably as far as he'll fall. But before you get mad at that, let me just remind you, though, that's a part of strategy by the NFL and the coaches and the scouts and the, people like myself, reporters, that they want to mark the guy down before that last minute before he comes into the draft because they want to try to cheapen his value so that players get a better chance, or teams get a better chance and save a little money on their players and their picks. That's all. And to be honest with you, from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, the amount of money difference, it's astronomical now. There'll be a 15% increase, if I'm not mistaken, from last year's number 1 pick. So whoever the number 1 pick is this year, he'll get everything that the last one did, plus another 10 to 15%. which is nuts. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you. Look, I reached for it like it was already full of coffee. To my good friend, Steven Shaw. Steven! Shaw! What's up, brother? My good friend Steven Shaw sent me this today. I love it. It's absolutely awesome. It has all kinds of jokes on the back about how much percentage of energy does like Raider Nation have, and it says 200% and stuff like that. It's really cool. I really appreciate this, brother. I love this because my other one chipped. I just forgot. You know how you do it sometimes. You're cleaning your kitchen, you're going hella fast, and then you just throw something in the dishwasher you don't mean to or never intended to anyway. And I just wasn't paying attention. So now moving on. John Leon says Garrett just got paid more than Crosby. That doesn't surprise me. Did he end up with the Eagles? But that doesn't surprise me. You know what I mean? We know that's how the season goes. If a quarterback gets a bump up, then the other quarterbacks will fall right in line and get their bump ups as the league adjusts to what those bump ups should be. You know what I mean? Because I would have to imagine that what's his face, Patrick Mahoganese, that guy might be looking to get some more money, even though they didn't win. Have a nice night too, brother. And if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe to Raider Bear Family Page, both on YouTube and Facebook. Check me out. Now, if you would, please like at the minimum if you can't subscribe. But if you can, bless, because it does a lot to help me in my show. I am Mama Bear, because we save lives and stuff. Hello! Love you, girl. Mwah. Okay, so real quick, 10 seconds. There was a guy that used to watch my show religiously, okay? And then he got too busy to do it. It's just his job and what he did. It was just too much, time on him to where he had to sleep often just to go to work. Well, it was because he was an EMT. And he worked in an ambulance. And he was one of those guys that when the police say, hey, we've got a guy down, send it EMT, he's one of those guys that sees car accidents, people dead, mangled stuff. He's crazy. And so he was telling me he did that, and I talked to him about it a little bit. So fast forward like a month or 3, something like that. He gets called out to an accident, and it's this young black family. The mom, dad, and a daughter were in the back seat. Well, I guess the daughter, for whatever reason, she unbuckled her seatbelt for a moment, like because she couldn't reach something out on the floor. And then the dad had a problem, and the car started flipping, and it was bad. And her parents lived, but they were completely unconscious and injured. And she was just shaken up, but they had to be sure, so they threw her in the ambulance and raced her up to the hospital. So she's crying her eyes out. She doesn't know what to do. And you know how it is with EMTs. They cut your clothes off. You know what I mean? They have to do that. So this girl comes into the EMT's emergency truck. They take off her jacket, and she's wearing a Raider jersey underneath. And one of the EMTs just raced and started cutting it. And she started crying because it was brand new. And she knew she was okay. And by the way, she was okay. She didn't have any internal bleeding, no broken bones, none of that. She just had bruises on her face from getting jostled around the car. So anyway, she couldn't stop crying. She was just really upset about it. She was like squeezing it. The guy's like, what's wrong, blah, blah. And she went on to explain a story about how that Raider jersey, how she got that Raider jersey, had to do with a family member, and she was just upset. She goes, you know what? I know a great guy that might help you with that. Let me get my phone. So he grabs his phone, and he sits in front of the girl, and he says, you'll love this. This guy's great. And he turns on my show. And they both start laughing at things I'm doing and saying, and she stopped crying. God's honest. You know what I mean? That feels good. So that's part of why I Raider Bear. Alfred Oliva, the Raiders need to kick it up some tomorrow. We lose some key players. Well, Alfred, welcome to the show again, and appreciate those comments. Keep it coming. I like to get everyone's perspective on the team, you know what I mean? But I only disagree with you because I think it's too early to do that. You said it yourself. We need to see more stuff. I think we're going to make more moves. I really do. But they may not be, like, Aaron Rodgers is coming. No. You know what I mean? We're good with Geno. Geno had one of his best seasons of his life just last year. He had it under Pete Carroll. And by the way, I don't know how many of you remember this, but when Geno Smith was still being referred to as a bum, the first year he joined on with Pete Carroll, he took that team to the playoffs. Now, a lot of people want to counter me and say, Bear, Geno Smith was third in the league in most interceptions. Okay. He also went well over 4,000 yards, though. Most quarterbacks that throw for 4,000, yards are all-stars. So, I'm anxious to see what Geno Smith can do with us. I remind you all of Sam Darnold. We all thought Sam Darnold was a bum. Look what he's doing now. He takes a team, goes like 11-0 or something like that, 12-0, and then hits free agency, and now every team in the league wants him. Not necessarily, because I did hear the Raiders were super lukewarm on Sam Darnold. They feel like he might be flukish. That's just the word I've gotten about it, that the Raiders were, I think the exact words were, they were hesitant about making a move towards Sam Darnold. So when we were able to make a deal and get Geno Smith, big time. Tanamoku, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Jerry Molina, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Cheeks Gonzalez, Metcalf to the Rams, Diablos. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I know everyone knows about DK Metcalf. He's the chiseled wide receiver, perfect body, looks like a bigger Terrell Owens, lightning fast, faster than Terrell Owens was, I'd be willing to bet. But here's the thing. I don't know if you guys remember, it was one of my draft shows. I do a draft show every year. I'll do another one this year, and so on and so forth. But when Eric was getting, when Metcalf was getting drafted, I made it very clear, yeah, his body's beautiful and all that, but he's wound too tight. The muscles, it's too tight. You know what I mean? That gets you injured. He's had problems, with his legs and his back, which is, common to being that tight. And then he's been terrible out of the in and out drills where you have to slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. He's terrible at that. All he's really good is straight line speed. He's as fast or faster than almost everyone in the league, but only if you let him get his stride and go. I know you'll remember I said this. He's not a horse. He's a Clydesdale. So because he can be that muscular speedster, he needs that time to get himself going, and DBs are just going to be stuck all over him. It's just easy to cover him. I was still excited about it, potentially because of what I felt like Chip Kelly could do with that speed. You know what I mean? Getting him a little cross route, get him loose, and then just throw and let him run underneath the ball and go. That's basically the same thing as a click out. John Leon lets me know that Kuntz signed a 1 year ago, a 1 year deal for $12 million. John, I wouldn't have even paid that. You know what I mean? If we're going to let Spillane and all these guys go, but you want to keep Malcolm Kuntz, Malcolm Kuntz has had 1 season with us, and even that was like a half a season. Thank you, Carlos Boykins. I appreciate that. Thank you, John the Leon. Thank you, Mark Vargas. Let me see. Tim Newport, what's up? Yep. I'm just getting toward the bottom of everybody's comments. Glenn Medina, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Jeremy Chin is better than Morig, in my opinion, and cheaper. Rick Condi Jr., great profile pick, and again, I would say I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's why I just kind of half-heartedly was talking about Spillane and Trayvon Merrick. I like Spillane. He was good for us, and he had some hell of nice moments in his career with us, and interceptions that were clutch, and bringing guys down before they got to the first down and things like that. He was nice, but he had a run just like any other linebacker has on this team. You know what I mean? He wasn't like all pro. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. He was good. He was real good. And you remember when I said when we got him from Pittsburgh, I said that guy's gonna be a baller, and everybody was like, yeah. I said, watch, Spillane is gonna be a baller, and he was. He was really good for us. But is he an all-star? Is he someone we can't part with? I would have rather we kept him because he's solid and we know him and he knows us and he's just awesome. But, the money's got to be the money. And so I say God bless him to him. Cheeks Gonzalez said, indeed. He's Steve Atwater's nephew. Oh, okay. Glenn, I'm doing good. Good to have you back. Steve Marchant, do you think we get him back, Khalil Meek? We have the money, Steven Marchant, so until I see the money gone, I'm going to say that we have a chance. I'm going to say there's a chance that we could get Khalil Mack back. I believe in that. See, because to me, whether he was a Raider or not in the past, he's just a free agent that's freaking valuable. You know what I mean? And I'm really glad we didn't do the whole thing with Joey Noza. You know what I mean? I don't like that family. I don't like those guys. You know what I mean? They seem loud. I'm gonna just say this, and I'm sorry. I have certain things I could back it up with, but I'm not gonna say it. They're Niner players, but I'm not gonna say racist. It would be bad if I said racist, so I'm not gonna say that. But a certain someone, when he came into the league, scrubbed his Twitter to try to make things go away. But you know how the press are; they got it all back. And one of those brothers, one of the Noza brothers, came out and said some pretty destructive things, if you ask me. True. Hello, what's up? Oh, thank you for the love and the stars, man. Larry Brooks Jr., what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Okay, Bear, just in, we signed Landon Roberts, linebacker from Pittsburgh. We keep getting these linebackers from Pittsburgh. We got 2 last time, and then now we get another one there. I like it. Lucky Pace, who signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers? $18 million. That's a good deal. Is that Merrick? I wonder if that's Merrick. Just remind me real quick. Cheese Gonzalez, I appreciate that. Herman Gonzalez Jr., what's up, man? Thank you, Mark Vargas. That's cool. Everybody for saying that. I appreciate it. Terry Dahl, got no middle linebacker, no free agent linebackers out there, so are they going to draft one and hope he can start day one? Well, Terry Dahl, that's not really that bad an idea. They do have some pretty big boys coming out at linebacker in this next crop in the draft. But to be honest with you, there's going to be teams like we just did with Pittsburgh. My other viewer was letting me know. What was his name again? Landon? Where was that? Yeah, Landon Roberts, linebacker from Pittsburgh. Eric Bell's reminding me of that. I trust Eric Bell. He knows what he's doing. And so if that's the case, I'm happy. Because I even though I don't necessarily have a familiarity with that player's name, I know Pittsburgh spits out linebackers. They've done it for a decade plus. They always have good linebackers. It's kind of their thing. Bill Cox, it does suck, but I mean, I just think that we've been going through this. You know what I mean? What is it? The last 20 years, we've gone through like 6 middle linebackers, something like that. I didn't understand why they were so off of Navarro Bowman. I mean, if you guys remember Navarro Bowman, that was the cat that was with the Niners, and he was an all-pro, incredible, just a monster. And then his knees became a problem, and the Niners let him go. We picked him up, and he played fantastic for us for 2 seasons. 2 seasons. And then he made videos of himself running all around and doing all these, really hard workouts. And the Raiders went, no, not interested. What? You know what I mean? Glenn Medina, my family's doing real well. My only problem, the only family member I have that's going through anything is my mom, you know what I mean? And it's tough, but I've been dealing with it for years, you know what I mean? And because of that, I'm capable to talk about it without crying on camera, but in truth, I would have liked to things for her to have been different, but I just take it as it is, day by day, and just love her. We lost Spillane. Do you think Eckenberg will be able to fill his shoes? Tim Newport, I absolutely think Eichenberg, the kid from Ohio State, can fill his shoes. No doubt about it. He played well for us in his rookie season. Now, it wasn't great, but, I mean, he's a rookie, you know what I mean? I kind of like what he's going to do for us this year. I really do. I like him. I'm not going to go toward Bill Romanowski yet, but they're very prototypically similar. They run tall, same body type, kind of a thinner guy, but with muscled up, looks like a He-Man doll. But he's good. He's good. I like Eichenberg. What do we think of Geno Smith? Richard, beautiful profile pic. I would say this, Richard. What do I think of Geno Smith? I think Geno Smith came to his sort of peak with Pete Carroll. And I think if he hadn't gone to Pete Carroll, he probably wouldn't be, in the situation he is, where he's going to get a payday and get a chance to start for a fresh new team. And if you really think of everything that's happened to Geno Smith thus far, there's been drama and issues for quite a while. Okay. Now, the reason I bring that up is because I don't really think Geno Smith has ever legitimately had a team that he could call his home. I think every time he was anywhere, he always wondered, am I going to stick here? Even with Seattle, he had those couple of years with Seattle and Pete. Once Pete was talking about leaving and that was over, Geno probably wondered what the hell was going to go on, and it probably wasn't going back to the Seahawks. So where do you go? You follow your old coach, the coach that brought that game out of you. Everybody said they wanted a running quarterback. That's what this guy can do. Everybody said they wanted a guy with a big arm. That's what this guy has. So I'm not thinking about anything that has anything to do with the past. Except when I give you some stats to back up my argument, which I'm going to do in a second. But my point is that I think that you can't hold on to what we've seen from him in the past. We know in the past he's been kind of a bum. He threw a lot of interceptions. I mean, hell, last year he was third in most interceptions. So why am I excited? Because I think that was part of that offense. I think it was a part of him being a little bit too much of a gunslinger. And that in this new system with Chip's going to be the kind of guy that gets the ball out of Geno Smith's hands fast. Even though our offensive line's going to be better and prepared to really give him a pocket, that's just going to be a disguise for when we do go over the top to whichever wide receiver we happen to have on a go route. Because he can throw the ball 80 miles to a BB at midnight. I'm not playing. He really can. He's come a long way. If you watch his hype videos on YouTube, they're pretty good. There's a couple throws that you just can't believe he completed, but there would be two defensive backs coming really just at the speed of light, and he'd fit a ball right between them for a touchdown. And threw it low where the wide receiver had to get down and get it so they couldn't deflect it. It was incredible. And he was doing that routinely in the highlight videos I was watching. Okay, now, Geno Smith, this is just last season, okay? Threw for 4,320 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Yeah, I know. The interception count is high. I'm not going to say, it doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. We can't have him doing that. But nonetheless, he threw for 4,300 yards and 21 touchdowns. That's better than anything we've had for a minute. So I'd like to see that. Okay, now, one more just little point. In 2022, okay, so this is 2022 when he was first with Pete. This is when he was just getting to know Pete in Seattle. He threw for 4,282 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. See? So he's already proven that he can have a high touchdown total, keep those interceptions at a minimum, and, by the way, he led the league that year with a league-leading 69.8% completion percentage. What's more important than being mobile, being smart, and being able to put the ball anywhere? And he's accurate. I'm sorry, that was the 2022. Stats don't lie. Look up the stats. 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. You see what I'm saying? I'll live with 11 interceptions if you're giving me 30 touchdowns. Cool. You know what I mean? Get your yards, get us wins, let's go. And he brought the team to the playoffs that year, by the way. Yeah, Terry Dahl, you forget about Eichenberg because they don't talk about him that much. He really was a third-string linebacker that they were working with. But once they got him in the gym, once they got the coaches around him, they were basically saying, hey, man, we got to move this guy up and get some playing time for him, here and there because he can ball. And then the moment he made it on the field, the coaches had made up their mind that we got to keep that kid busy. Benny Arriaga, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Spillane, Morig, Hobbs, tough losses today. Jeremy Chin is a huge pickup. Honestly, Sherry couldn't have said it better, but I want to just be clear. I think Spillane's position can be replaced. That's no disrespect to Spillane, but it's just like when Hunter Renfrow left. Why are we supposed to boo-hoo? We loved him. We loved what he brought. He had some of the greatest plays I've ever seen from a little tiny wide receiver who on a special teams kick, when they were going to blow us away and get the ball back with an instant first down, he came running down the field some 40 yards, full speed, and hit the best form tackle I have ever seen. Ever. The best form tackle I've ever seen was from an average wide receiver. But it was incredible. Easily one of the best hits I've ever seen in my life. And he jarred the ball loose and they didn't get a first down. And all of Raider Nation went, damn. And at that point, we married him. But, things happened the way they did. Cheeks Gonzalez. He did. Reggie Bush got folded. Bob Sanders said Najee Harris signs with the Chokers. Bob, I would say that your reporting of that, only that all that does, I mean, I did know that, but all that proves to me is that the Raiders really are on Gene T now. You know what I mean? They want that running back. I think they really do, and I think they really think they can get it done. Because there just aren't too many teams that are going to have the stomach to pay a running back that kind of price. But I think it would be wise for us. When you see where we are, what we are, we had lost Josh Jacobs. He was a key piece to everything we were doing. So we got to get that guy that can move the chains from time to time and maybe even be dangerous for a touchdown so that these receivers, can get out there and do their thing, and then our defense can come in and, shut down. Excuse my French. What's good, Miko Canez? Let me see. R8RBEAR, much love from your mascot. Potted butts and don't get me started. I'd almost calm down and you go hyping me up again. Putting butts at him. Let me see. What do you think about the story of the safety we got from the Commanders? I think we paid him around $13 million. Well, it's just like the signing we had with isn't his name Eric Bell, the safety that we picked up from the Eagles a couple of years ago? Same kind of fit. Nice running against the run safety that can play for us. I like the fact that he comes up. He doesn't have any fear at all. So, yeah, I like that, and I like it a lot. R8RBEAR, how's it going, bro? Much love. Lewis Cunningham, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Love that profile pic. You guys look beautiful. I'm doing great, though, man. My life can't be better. Bill Cox, will Dylan Lau be going to play at running back? Will Stevenson be our main back? I honestly think they're gonna draft Gene T. I'm not gonna come off of that. Not after what I heard. You know what I mean? I heard the coach and the GM are like giddy school kids at the opportunity to get that kid. Because there's things that Chip Kelly can do with a running back that you just don't understand. Because he'll start gashing you with those little quick throws and a deep one here and there, and then all of a sudden you get that running back delay draw. He's gonna run all through people. Gene T will run all through people, and just be easy. Remember, our offensive line really quietly just got really good. Okay, we already know about Colton Miller. We already know about Dylan Parham. Now, Jackson Powers Johnson at center, okay, just killing it. Now we just got to figure out right tackle. Alex Kappa, we just brought in from the Cincinnati Bengals. That's a veteran, tough guy that we're going to put in. He's got a hell of a lot left in the tank. Not old, great player. He's going to come in. He's going to be massive for us. And then we just have to figure out what's going on at right tackle. And don't get me wrong, but I like DJ Glaze, the kid they brought in from Maryland. I really like DJ Blaze. So I'm just going to put that out there. If they don't sign anyone during this next draft, as far as a right tackle, like someone specifically to outline that, or if they do it with a 7th round pick, that's not really a big threat to DJ Blaze. But if they bring in an offensive lineman that's a veteran, in college, right tackle, mostly played right tackle, then they may be challenging him. You know what I mean? But right now, I love what our offensive line looks like now. Coming back, I love it. Having said that, Bill Cox, I don't know if Dylan Lauby's going to hold on. I was a big Dylan Lauby fan. I came on my show, and I was giddy. I told you guys, watch out. Dylan Lauby's going to be a monster. And then I think he saw the ball twice all year, something like that, 3 times, if that. You know what I mean? Where they actually tried to target him. I couldn't believe it. When you saw him in camp prior to the Raiders season starting, he looked like an end zone ninja, man. He would, dip and slide and spin through, the defenders and end up in the touchdown at practice. You know what I mean? He was oohing and ahhing. Our team at practice at the Henderson facility, they were going crazy about him. And then nothing. I don't know if that's on AP. I don't know. But if he survives and he's still with us when we start this season, Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll, too experienced to not use a weapon like that. So if Dylan Lauby is still on the roster when we get to start this season, I promise you're going to see that man, and he is a bad man if they get him the ball. Now, I'm confident that because we have Tom, that guy from New England, because we have that guy, I really think that he can make this happen because Dylan Laube gives off Wes Welker vibes. Now, most of you who've been through as much pain as I have, you'll remember that name. Because that's that cat that was with the Patriots that was killing us, over the season. And in truth, he was killing everyone. Because Wes Welker had that jitter quick speed, always got open quickly, you hit him quick. If you're in rhythm, the quarterback's going to kill you with Wes Welker. I think that Dylan Laube could be that for Geno Smith. Just that released valve on either side of the field who can also block when you need him to be that extra man. I'm just hoping we see Dylan Laube. Look, Dylan Laube, when he was 8, he wore Superman pajamas to bed every night. And his mom and dad didn't buy him for him. They just appeared mysteriously in his bed one night. True story. He's a bad man. Hey, Bear, how do you feel about Geno Smith at the helm moving forward? Over 4,000 yards last year. 21 touchdowns last year. He had a high interception rate. He had 15. But I like a guy that gunslings. Did we ever look back at Kenny Stabler and say, oh, well, he'd be great if he just stopped throwing interceptions? No, we're Raider Nation. We don't get caught up in your stats. We got caught up in like some of Josh Jacobs' stats and things like that because he was doing amazing stuff. Last year, doggone it. Where is this darn thing? My phone. I have an alarm going off on my phone, and I can't find it now. That's pathetic. But Dylan Laube, I just think if they give him a chance, I just can't see how he wouldn't do well. Now, Geno Smith, along with that guy, I like what Geno Smith could do with him when you consider how much better he was just last year. You know what I mean? I think that the interceptions will come down. Now, in 2022, he had 30 touchdowns and only 11 interceptions. So he's shown that he can keep his interceptions down, and his completion percentage led the league that year at, 69.8%, which is incredible. So, yeah, in that year, he led them to the playoffs, and it was his first year with the team. Ashton is deaf, the pick. Cheeks Gonzalez. All right, Cheeks. I think Ashton is the pick, too. Who you think going to back up Genius? I'm not sure who you mean. Who you think going to back up Genius? It does say Genius. I'm not sure if you mean who's going to back up me. You refer to me as Genius. I get it. Didn't Saunders meet with Coach Carroll? Corinna, yes. But that, honestly, that's due diligence. They probably met with 10 other quarterbacks. It doesn't necessarily always hit the news. You know what I mean? But the Raiders are talking to guys. I don't think that that's a reason for us to think that they're going to get one of those quarterbacks. I think that if GT were to come off the board by some freak, but in like the 3rd pick or the 4th pick, and we really know he's gone, they'll probably pivot to one of the quarterbacks, I would imagine, or maybe the best defensive player left on the board. Reyes Antonio, we were just talking about that a little while ago. At Landon Roberts, linebacker, signed from the Steelers. I just pulled him up on my tab here, taking a look at him. Just my first glance, he looks like he could play. Who do I think is going to back up Geno? Lewis Cunningham. Honestly, I would say we're probably going to make a deal with Aiden O'Connell to trade him. I think we might just trade him. I don't like saying that because obviously all points point to he's going to be a Raider next year, but I just don't know how they want to handle that. With Pete Carroll and Spytech, you can't just sit and say, yep, Hobbs isn't going anywhere. They're going to see Hobbs and like him so much, and then whoops, gone. So we'll see, but I have to think honestly that they probably let AOC go. Could he end up being the veteran backup? Of course. But we already know what he can do, and management, not me, because I love the kid, but management has decided he doesn't have it. So now, because you're looking for a future quarterback while one is on your roster just in his 3rd season, are you really going to ask him to keep being this puppet until you're ready to put in whoever we draft this year? I don't think that's fair to him. I think they should give him a shot to go somewhere and win a job. I think he could go to the Patriots right now and really compete. I think he could go to the Cardinals right now and really compete. Hell, the Jets. You know what I mean? He could go there. You know what I mean? That they brought in that kid from the Chicago Bears that went to the Steelers for a little while. You know, that broken quarterback, and now they're going to bring him over there. I think he's all right. You know, when there was a possibility we might sign him, I thought that was cool, but I didn't have my hopes up. You know what I mean? Seemed like a kind of an injury guy. Doesn't seem like he learns quickly. I don't know. Tana, I get that the class is deep at running back, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a guy that could be as impactful as a star. So if I can get a running back in the third, okay, maybe he's going to be good, but is he going to be like that guy is going to be? You know what I mean? I don't think so. I think Ashton Genty is clearly the best running back in this crop. I think it's a high bust pick, just like wide receivers are high bust picks. But you guys were ready to go out there for DK Metcalf, you know what I mean? And we still don't really know what DK Metcalf is. He's an in and out wide receiver that runs a route tree that basically has like 4 routes designs on it, and all of them require him to just be running fast. A running fast go, an interior post, a short drag across like a slant, and then a short drag across to going toward the out of bounds, and they can throw it to him on the edge, and he can kick it, catch it, and pull it in. That's pretty much all he's got. Now that may sound like a big route tree, but it's not. This is killing me. Okay, here we go. Sorry, there it was. One of my papers with all these notes I have on here got on there. Let me just do that. There we go. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about Geno with you guys. I want to make sure I went over everything. I told you about Kappa. Told you about, Adam Butler signing. The Adam Butler signing was nice. $16.5 million. Only 11 of that's guaranteed. So if he doesn't play next year and we get rid of him, we pay 11 and he's gone. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, there was kind of a strange story. I'm not going to really go into it deep because I think just the whole thing is sad, but we're in the last 10 minutes, so I'll just throw it out there. You might want to look up this story. It's about a guy named Jordan Willist. That's Jordan Willist. I believe it's Willston. Willist. Or no, Will Willist. Yeah, Lost. Willist. So Willost. But anyway, it's Willist or Willost. But it's a Kansas City Chiefs fan that. He owned a home, he had a party kind of thing, and then for some reason he wasn't there somehow. And then the 3 guys that he invited over to his Super Bowl party were later on found dead in his backyard, frozen to death. I mean, popsicles. And so the cops jump all over this guy, Jordan Willist, and he's like, I wasn't even here. I was at a friend's house somewhere else. I told those guys I'll be back probably tomorrow, but they could stay. So that's his story. He told them that they could stay, and he was going to see a friend or some garbage like that. But anyway, it's happening to a KC fan, so I thought that was at least good. See, that's morbid. I shouldn't do that. But, it's an interesting story, to say the least. They haven't found foul play yet, but they're looking. Solomono Milo. I know I said that wrong. I'm sorry, brother. High Raider all the way from New Zealand. We just picked up linebacker from the Steelers, Landon Roberts. 1-year deal, $3 million. I like it. I just watched video of him on my handy-dandy cell phone, and I have my tablet over here. Nice kid. Looks young and hungry. Okay. No. Real wow signings, which says front office are doing their homework and aren't reaching. They are signing players for value. Well said, Vernon. Just drop right in at the end of the show with a good one. How did you know AOC won't be lights out starting a full season with protection and players around him? Rick Condi, I honestly, I want to say, I think you heard me say this already, but I picked him before the Raiders picked him. I said, I hope we get this guy, because every scout I can find said he is the absolute dark horse of his draft. That AOC was going to be one of those guys that in like year 4, year 5, it was just going to, the light bulb was going to come on, and that guy was going to be a perennial starter. That's what scouts were saying about him going into the draft. You see what I'm saying? He had the highest, the 3rd highest percentage of completion percentage, and the only guys that were better than him were the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks that season. So the 3rd best, even though he was way down the list of quarterbacks, was Aiden O'Connell. So I love him, Rick, and I wish that he would get an opportunity, but he won't. He doesn't have the kind of contract that demands that he be given a chance. He doesn't have the resume behind him that demands that he should have a chance. And you have a new regime in Pete Carroll coming in that's kind of like, we know you, kid. We see what you can do, but you know what I mean? We'll let you fight a little bit, but we're definitely going to bring in a veteran, Geno Smith, and we're definitely going to look in the draft potentially. I don't think AOC is long to be a Raider, and I think it sucks. I want to be clear, because the way you wrote that, it sounded like you were upset that I don't believe in him or something. I do. I wish they would have let him start this season, and instead of Geno Smith, but I can't argue with the Geno Smith thing either, because Pete Carroll knows the guy, and he's played great for Pete twice. Really good. So, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Who's this offensive lineman we picked up from the Patriots, and what position is he expecting to play? I think he's expecting to be right tackle, but probably more. They're going to look at him first to see what he has. And they brought in Kappa to shore up things at right. I don't know what that means. Do you think Kupp will be a good luck in silver and black? Cooper Kupp? We didn't sign Cooper Kupp. Is it April? Is it April Fools? I think Sam Darnold signed with the Seahawks 3 years, $105 million. I think they overpaid. Jim Garrison, to be honest with you, you're right. Most people think that. I don't know. I think Sam Darnold grew. I think Sam Darnold has changed. There are times when a player that you think you know what he is steps out of the light and out into the light and says, "No, I'm this." You know what I mean? I mean, Josh Jacobs did that from day one. He went, "Look, you guys picked me, but I'm the man. So just watch, because I'm gonna be like a bowling ball through here." And then he was. Won us games on 40-yard bursts through the middle of the line for touchdowns. God, I miss him. Come back, Josh Jacobs. Shut up. Men can cry. I miss the guy. He was badass. We need a Lester Hayes of modern football. Glenn, I don't know if you've noticed, but Pete Carroll's resume, if you go back throughout the years at all the different jobs he had, one of the main titles he had throughout the years, especially early in his career, was as defensive backs coach. He was a head defensive backs coach. So he has a familiarity with working with corners and safeties. And you saw what it did for the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom was a really good team, but they weren't really too flexible. You know what I mean? They had some guys playing, safety that were in truth linebackers by some people's standards and that kind of thing. And they were in the right spots. They had perfect communication. They would use hand signals and sometimes would just look back at the safety and go like that. And the safety would immediately know what the corner was saying. And then they would just have this just cohesiveness in their defense. And it was hard to beat. And that was Pete Carroll's team. You know what I mean? So we got to remember that. It's ironic we play the Pats, so we will see Spillane. Yeah, I think that sucks, but I'm trying to find the best way to say this each and every time. I have absolutely no problem with Robert Spillane. I think Robert Spillane is fantastic. Okay, but if you're asking me if he's the end-all linebacker and that's why we should have kept him, blah, 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 I can't say that. I can say he was a damn good linebacker for us and we'll miss him, and I respected him a lot because he landed on his feet the first day he got here and literally quietly became a leader on the team. You know what I mean? He did. So I'll miss him for that because it's rare when you bring in a guy and he just bonds, parts of the team, immediately on the defense. So. Oh, Glenn, okay, I feel you. Brandon, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. We just signed former linebacker with the Steelers. Yes. Elandon something. Yep, I like it. Fields signed a 2-year, $40 million contract with the Jets, which makes me think Rodgers will go to the Steelers. It would make sense if he went to the Steelers because he's stealing money. Bum. Come on, that was funny. dad humor. I'm leaving you on dad humor because you didn't laugh at that joke, and I thought that was pretty freaking funny. Because he'll be going there to steal money because the Steelers, I mean, if you pay Aaron Rodgers, you're just dumb at this point. If you pay Aaron Rodgers at this point, you're just dumb. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable that I could say that because we signed Geno Smith. But outside of that, I would have been scared. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. What? R8RBEAR! What do you mean, do my neighbors like me? They do, damn it. I kind of spoil him when I first meet him, bring over cake and cookies a couple times, just out of nowhere. And then I'll tell him, I do this thing, you should come over and see it. And I'll bring him to my house and let him see me the first time. And they'll be standing off camera and cracking up the whole time. I'm like, I do this for real. All right, much love. I appreciate you tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. R8RBEAR family page. Love you all. Like and subscribe. R8RBEAR Live. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Peace.